A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this week's video. If you need a website or a domain, go to squarespace.com/James for 10% off your first purchase.
I think that over there is the island that Bear Grylls lives on. Pretty sure it is.
I googled it, it's not.
Anyway, I've digressed already. You might remember a few months back, I made a video which was very original and innovative in its nature, titled "What's in My Bag?" or something to that effect, and no other photographer has made a video like that before. Joking, obviously, I've made about 6 of them. But in the latest one, there was a big departure for me, which was the showing of my new camera bag. Not massively new at that point, but the camera bag that I hadn't talked about before, which was a 10-litre Peak Design sling in black. And the reason that that was a big departure for me was because prior to that, I'd been mostly using massive, like 50-litre things to carry all my camera gear. And tell you the truth, I lost track of the number of times I'd be out walking in the mountains and someone very friendly would stop me and say, "Oh, are you going camping?" And I'd say, no, I know it looks like I'm set for surviving in the mountains for weeks on end because of this massive bag, but no, it's just full of electronics. And I could see them thinking, that is an awful lot of gear to be carrying to take a few photos. And over the course of time, I have begun to agree with them. So yes, earlier this year, I was talking about the fact that I was using a sling now, much more than a massive backpack. And as you can see, this is not a black Peak Design sling. This is a grey Peak Design sling, and this one is 6 litres, and this is the one that I've been using most now, and the 10-litre one is just what I take on really, really big days out. So yeah, this 6-litre one is what I'm using most, and I thought I'd go through what's in it and why I've decided to carry this. Right, there are a few reasons that enable me to use a sling as a bag now, as opposed to a massive, huge camera bag. Number one, I haven't been using telephoto lenses all that much. In the last couple of years that I was carrying a telephoto every day, I could probably count on one hand the number of times that I actually got it out to use. And given that it's probably the heaviest bit of kit you carry, I just decided that no, it's not worth it. As I've spoken about once or twice on this channel recently, I'm really, really enjoying the sort of normal focal lengths. And I say normal focal lengths, I mean the focal lengths that look like how your eyes see the world, anything from 35 to 50 millimeters. And as such, I've just been shooting mostly on a 24 to 70. And that does great for both video and stills. And the fact that I've got rid of my Leica now means that I can just carry one camera typically rather than 2 bodies, which massively helps when you've only got a small bag too. Admittedly today I've got 2 bodies because you're watching on a second body, obviously. Second reason I can get away with a bag like this is that I no longer carry a drone around with me. I despise drones, really. I mean, I like using them for sort of opening shots of videos. I think they really help set a scene. But typically, I just leave the drone in the car. So I arrive at a car park or wherever I'm hoping to make a video or shoot some photos, and I just throw the drone up straight away, get some footage, and then ditch the drone in the car. Don't bother bringing it out with me. I don't really want to carry a drone around just for the sake of some B-roll. And I also don't really like drone photography. I never really feel particularly connected to the images. Don't know why. You see some fantastic stuff, but none of it from me, because like I said, I don't really feel connected to the photos. So those things, and the fact that yes, I've got rid of the Leica now, so I don't need to carry 2 camera bodies all the time, because all my cameras now can shoot video, so a lot of the time I only need 1, not now obviously, but a lot of the time. They enable me to carry much less stuff. Now the stuff that I do carry is a load of lens cloths, some spare batteries for my camera, a little phone attachment for a tripod. Now today I've got a big tripod with me because I've got a whole second camera set up, but if I don't, and I just want a tripod for a bit of B-roll or sticking the camera on the wall while I walk past or anything like that, then I'll just bring a small tripod. And this is a huge help when I just want to get some shots on my phone while I'm taking photos on my main camera. Now in the main compartment there are a couple of luxuries today. Firstly, a lens that I'm hoping to test throughout the course of the day, which I'll probably talk about more in the next video. So this isn't always in my bag. Neither is this. So this is a Case Filters pouch full of different filters, partly because of the new lens that I'm testing. And usually I only carry 2 filters, both for video when I'm shooting on my 24-70. I carry an ND8 and a polarizer, and they just live in the tablet slot behind the main compartment in this bag. Kind of a nice soft pocket, and so they don't need to be any kind of pouch. They can just sit flat in there, which saves an awful lot of space in the main compartment. Another luxury I've got today is this DJI case for my microphones. I don't usually carry this either. The main bit of the mic is sat on my second camera, and there's a microphone on me. And usually I don't need the charging case with me, but today I don't know how long I'm going to be away from the car, so I might need the second microphone. I don't usually carry this, but I am today. And then lastly, my GoPro with this neck strap that's got a magnet on it, so I can put this bit underneath my t-shirt, and then this just clips onto it over my t-shirt. Very clever design, not quite as stable as the full-on chest mount, but a lot more discreet if you're walking around villages and you want to pull the GoPro off to go into a shop or whatever. So that has been a really handy bit of kit as well. And that leaves absolutely no room to put my camera in my bag. And you might be thinking, well, that's absolutely bonkers, particularly if you're a landscape photographer who's used to sort of taking your shot, putting your camera in your bag, and then doing the 3-mile walk back to the car. But in the world of things like street photography, it's very common to not be able to put your camera in a camera bag because you either haven't got a camera bag or you've got a very small camera bag like this. And why on earth would you want to put your camera away? You might miss opportunities. And I've always been a big advocate of that, making sure that you don't put your camera away until you get back to your car, your house, your hotel, whatever, in case something happens in the spur of the moment and you need to be ready for the shot. So it's not the end of the world, to be honest, the more I've thought about it, that there is no room for my camera in my camera bag. And actually I see it as a bit of an advantage. Now that does mean that on days where I'm not carrying this or this, I do actually have some room for things like water and food in this bag. But yes, for the most part, this is what I'm carrying for photography. And it's been absolutely joyous to not have the constant murmurings in my head of, oh, you should really get your telephoto out. Oh, is it time for the drone? Oh, what filters should you have on? Oh, should you put your camera on a tripod? Because over the years, the number of photos I missed through indecision of what gear to use and what lenses to be putting on and choice paralysis, basically, it was just horrific. And now I don't have any of that. And sure, there is a cost to not having a telephoto with you. You can't get telephoto photos, but the benefit of that is a clarity of mind and less money spent on osteopathy, frankly. I did go last week though, and it was amazing. Lots of clicks and cracks. Oh, there's also a pocket here where I can store lots of GoPro batteries, so I do that as well. Now I appreciate that this setup is not for everybody. I feel quite fortunate that I can get away with shooting the vast majority of stuff I want to shoot, both video and stills, on a 1-lens setup. And other people might shoot a third of the time on a wide-angle lens, third of the time on a standard 24-70 or 24-105, and a third of the time on a big telephoto lens. But for me, this is pretty much perfect. And between keeping a drone in the car and forfeiting water, in the case of today, I feel pretty good about the fact that I don't need to carry that much stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, no more what's in my bag videos for the foreseeable, he says. Sorry about that. That wasn't my intention for this video. I was thinking I'd talk for a couple of minutes about my new, smaller bag, and then I'd go and do some photography. But I ended up talking for 10 minutes. Although probably for the best, to be honest, because the intended photography that I ended up doing was rubbish. Sunset came along at the same time that the clouds did, and besides that, I couldn't really find all that much to take photos of, so maybe I'll return in winter in a storm. Anyway, despite all my gear changes, all my bag changes over the years, one thing in my setup has remained constant, and that is my website, my Squarespace website. And a big thank you to Squarespace
for their continued support of this channel. If you've been watching a while, you'll know that I use the template Wells. I have done for the past 7 or 8 years, and it allows me to set up my portfolio in exactly the way that I want to. I also send out newsletters through my Squarespace website when I remember, and it also hosts my online store where you can buy presets, books, prints, all that kind of stuff. And as I've said before, I think a website is a crucial tool to all photographers because it means you can have an online space that you control entirely. It's not dictated to by algorithms. You get a say in the design of it. And even through that process, you don't need to know any code or anything technical. It's all super straightforward. So if you're a photographer and you don't have a website and you'd like to try one, then definitely go to squarespace.com to start your free trial. And after that, if you'd like to make a purchase, just go to squarespace.com/James and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. So a big thank you to Squarespace for their continued support of this channel, and to you for watching videos like this where I just rabbit on for 10 minutes about bags. Let's talk about that in the next video, I promise.